Hi, everybody. Welcome back to today's edition of VCTV with your host, Kyle Ellicott. We're going to be speaking about investing in startups in developing and transformative countries. We have had this conversation a few different times in almost every topic we talk about, whether it's about a technology, it's about an industry. There is a global shift happening of new companies, new entrepreneurs, and great opportunities everywhere, as we're going to hear how the digitization of 2020 pushed us into this more digital lifestyle and world and economy that we live on. Therefore, we need to know what is happening everywhere in the world. With that, I'm joined by three outstanding co-hosts and friends from the VCTV family who will be talking about this subject with me. But before we introduce them, a big thank you to you for tuning in. If you haven't done so already, please do check out letoken.com to see more on today's speakers and all speakers of the VCTV family. Also, a big thank you to Maria and Hasmik for making today's episode possible. With that, Adrian, welcome back to the show. It's always a pleasure. A little intro and a little background for everybody, please.
Thank you very much, Kyle, for having me again. I'm very happy to join the VCTV family anytime. It's a gorgeous Monday, and of course, the time is passing very fast. So in no time will be Saturday. So we have to value a lot of time what we are doing. My name is Adrian Niculescu. I'm a serial entrepreneur and investor involved in few projects. CloudCoin Consortium. CloudCoin is a post-blockchain digital currency. DAO1, a decentralized autonomous organization. Also, I work with Faster Capital, which is an accelerator for startups, and involved in other projects. Also, it's a medium, not so long list. Happy to be here and contribute. Very, very exciting topic, because the next big thing can come from anywhere these days.
Absolutely great words, Vandana. I'm going to come to you next. Welcome back. A little intro, a little background for everybody.
Yeah, first of all, I want to thank the entire team of Latoken TV for having me here. It takes a lot of efforts to connect people globally. Thank you, Kyle. Thank you, Maria. Thank you, Hasmik. And coming to a short intro about myself, I was in Singapore and Jakarta for 15 years in investment banking. I worked as an investment banker and advisor to family offices and angel investors in Jakarta, Indonesia, helping startups from a diverse background from Fin-Tech, B2B Tech, all the way to consumer startups. I was raising funds for them and providing them with a great range of services, just as Convanto does today. And after 15 years of staying in Singapore and Jakarta, I came back to India. I did investments for a bit, then returned to advisory. That is when Convanto was founded. Today, Convanto is one of the most well-known boutique investment banks in India, led by a female founder. I'm also a venture advisor with Loyal VC, the INSEAD-led Canadian VC Fund, having a core portfolio of 160 investments in more than 35 countries. I'm also a partner with GST Venture Studios, a Silicon Valley-based venture builder. And over the years, I've arranged funding for startups and growth stage companies in diverse sectors like edtech, fintech, consumer, B2C, B2B, agri-tech, health tech, food tech, disruptive tech, deep tech, as well as non-tech sectors. I would recommend all of you to kindly have a look at my website for the wonderful testimonials written by my clients. This month, I've been selected as the top 10 women leaders in Wealth Management 2021. 4 magazines have already covered me this month. 3 more are going to cover me in the coming month. And my expert opinion is often sought by leading business news channels and publications like VCTV, Business World. I've participated in 160 talks all over the world. You can easily see them on YouTube and VCTV streaming sites. I'm connected to 300 investors globally, and we pick up global deals. We are sector agnostic, and typically we do $1 million to $25 million. And once again, thank you for having me here.
Thank you, as always. Last but not least, the Grand Master of Artificial Intelligence himself, ladies and gentlemen, has graced us with his presence today, Gary Fowler. A little intro, a little background.
Has graced us with his presence. Oh, great. Hey, good to be here. Good to see some familiar faces and some smiling friends. My name's Gary Fowler. I love artificial intelligence and quantum computing. I've done 17 companies. I was on the original management team at Click Software that was sold to Salesforce for 1.35 billion, and then did a Nasdaq IPO during the first dot-com bubble, which was really tough, but we did it. Company was later sold for 1.35 billion, as I said. Also, Eva.ai, an AI HR tech company I co-founded with Dr. David Yang. I started the first accelerator in Russia and also was involved as a partner in the #1 private corporate accelerator. Love AI and quantum. I've written 161 articles. Actually, my 161st article will come out this week, and it's on using artificial intelligence to replicate humans. That one will be in Forbes. I've been speaking recently at the United Nations, Forbes, books, etc. And I'm also writing a book called AI in the Age of Influence. Thank you, Kyle.
AI in the Age of Influence. I love it and cannot wait to pre-order it. But more importantly, Gary, let's turn that a little bit into today's topic. So when we look at artificial intelligence and investing in startups in developing countries, or again, those transformative markets, what do you see happening? I mean, you've been investing in Latin America, South America, the US, Europe, Eastern Europe. I mean, you're all over the place, in Africa as well. How do you see artificial intelligence developing in these countries? And, have you been making investments, and kind of just give us the lay of the land there?
Yeah, I mean, the situation is, remember, Kyle, intellectual capacity is evenly spread around the world, but opportunities aren't. So we're seeing places like Nigeria, Argentina, Chile, literally all corners of the world. In Nigeria, on the weekends, on Saturdays, they have AI Saturdays to be able to bring people that are doing AI startups together and people interested in startups. So it's really creating that group and that interest in a particular topic. We did the same thing in Russia, by the way, when we started Startup Academy, and then we had our Entrepreneurs Club. It's about bringing people together so they can start to share ideas, build teams, and actually take their companies out. So that's stage one of going global. And I'm seeing, part of it, Kyle, is because of this digital revolution that we've had to go through over the last 2 years with COVID and all the challenges initially that it presented to us. We weren't used to being online on Zoom and StreamYard and Wirecast like we are today, really making it a more level playing field. And it's very, very exciting time. So we need to look at it. Startups that are out there, investors that are out there, think about all the data around you. There's 49 zettabytes of data on the planet. That would, if you had CDs or DVDs, go 35 times between Earth and the moon. We're inundated. We are in a state of infobesity. Startups that help us to make sense of that information, to be able to do something about it, and more importantly, in an unsupervised way to make decisions for us, are the next frontier of what's going to happen in artificial intelligence. And it's exciting. It's from med tech to supply chain to manufacturing, robotics, etc. But it's a dawn of a new day.
Absolutely. And Vandana, I want to come to you next. I mean,
Yeah.
We've talked many times about the amount of investments that you've made, but you're representing more in India and also have done a lot in Indonesia. Give us a little bit of what's happening in those particular countries and regions from the investment side. When you're looking at investing in startups, what are you starting to see more of now here in 2021 as we look right towards 2022? As Adrian mentioned, it could be here in the next blink of an eye how fast days are moving. But what are you seeing?
So, India startups raised about $6.5 billion in just the month of April and June 2021. And while 11 of them have entered into the Unicorn Club. Not only this, you saw Zomato having the IPOs. The mindset is changing. Zomato was loss making and entered into, IPO. I have seen startups with zero revenue getting funded. So I think the entire mindset of investors has changed. There's a lot of capital all around the world. Every day, new investments are happening all around the world. I myself have closed, 2 deals this month itself in fintech and health tech. One is from Singapore and one is from India. I think the mindset is totally changing. When demonetization had started in India, many of us didn't know, including myself, I didn't know how to use digital payments. And now I see even the vegetable vendor, the milkman, the taxi drivers using, digital payments. So I think when we are forced to use certain things, I think the progress happens. Similarly, when pandemic hit us, platforms like Zoom, AirMeet, StreamYard, people were skeptical to use them. Only when they were forced to use them, now we are connecting all over the world through these platforms. Sitting on one chair, we can have 15 to 16 meetings in a day. Traveling has reduced. Not only this, I've seen a lot of change in the mindsets of investors, and startups are coming up with disruptive ideas as well. I'm seeing a lot of investments happening in food tech, health tech, AI, robotics, IoT, and all other kinds of technological startups where we didn't see funding happening before, even e-commerce startups for that matter. So there's a lot of change that has happened in the mindsets, and I see a lot of progress happening in all parts of the world, including India, Jakarta, Singapore, UK, Nigeria. And Gary himself is doing a lot of work in Nigeria, so I really appreciate that.
Yeah, and Adrian, thank you, Vandana. Coming to you, Adrian. I mean, you work with a number of not only family offices but your own venture groups. And what are you seeing? Or are there certain markets that are more attractive right now than others in terms of the activity that you're starting to see around maybe particular technologies? Give us a little bit of the lay of the land from your view, Adrian.
I can relate to what's happening on the Eastern Europe startup scene, which is very emerging, more emerging than before. We see a lot of companies becoming successful and even surpassing really established companies from, I don't know, from UK or from US. It's like the 4-minute mile. It was at the beginning of this year a company which was started in Romania called UiPath, which was listed on New York Stock Exchange and became not only an unicorn but a decacorn. So this story actually inspired a lot of entrepreneurs seeing, okay, it's possible to achieve this, to achieve that. And it's very interesting because in one day, sitting at home, not even leaving a room, you can speak to people from all over the world and travel virtually all over the world on multiple continents. So you need to have a mindset shift in order to accommodate that. It's a quote which I like very much. People need passports, but businesses don't. So we truly live in a global place, and the opportunities are here, but they will not knock on your door. So you still to play your role, you still you to move your parts, at least virtually, because usually the best investors, they are bombarded with pitches from anywhere, and anybody is actually keen today to have a video call with you, which was not possible before the pandemic. And fortunately, there are many live events starting to happen, so the human interaction is here. In Romania, for example, if you look, even if the vaccination level is at about 12%, the country is almost open. There are no restrictions, almost no restrictions, and still, I don't know, the level of cases is very low. I don't know how long this will take, but there are premises, for the relaunch of everything. And when I see people saying that, okay, I'm bored, what should I watch on TV today? I say, come on, how can you be bored in such times when you have so many things to learn, so many people to connect, and so much work to do if you want to do something? This is crazy.
No, it's a very good point, and coming to each of you around advice. So making investments in transformative markets, and when you're not there and now digitally, can be potentially risky or scary for the first time as an investor. What advice do you each have for those investors looking to make investments in an area or region that they may not be based, but may see, to all of your points, great opportunity, great founding teams, great technology and use cases that apply? What advice do you have? Adrian, let's come to you first, and then we'll come around. But Adrian, what advice do you have for those investors?
It's all about risk management, because even, let's say, when you are looking at a crypto chart, it's an illusion what you are saying there. Some bits on the screen. That chart becomes real, I don't know, when you make a withdrawal or when you move something in another asset class. With working with people you don't meet, or investing in places where everything is digital, you need to learn about how to, it's called superior pattern recognition. You need to learn about how to spot the shady people and the shady business models, because it's something which you have to learn by yourself. Of course, you rely on a lot of other people or contractors for due diligence, but more important than, let's say, losing some funds, you will lose your time, and the time is not replaceable. So you need to start to guess who are the real people you should do business with, because it's all about people. Even if a business model, a startup can fail, if the team behind it is good, you will be able to do more things with them. But if the people are not correct, if they just want to do shady things, is very, very difficult, and you will get in a lot of troubles involving in any type of relationships with them. I'm not saying that we don't all make mistakes. It would be wrong to say that. But we all do mistakes. We all did various things which didn't work. But as long as we are able to connect with like-minded people and to learn to protect ourselves, to manage risk, and to analyze very well when something is too good to be true. So if you succeed doing that, you will be okay.
Thank you, Adrian. Vandana.
So the thing is, see, investment bankers, they have the right kind of connection and the relationship with the investors as well as the startups. They have very strong relationships with the investors and the startups. Now, in fact, during the pandemic, I have closed 4 to 5 deals while just sitting on one chair online. Now, the thing is that before the investment happens, there is a serious process called due diligence that happens by the fund. So it is easy to figure out at that stage if there is any loopholes over there. Reliable investment bankers do a lot of research before they pick up the deal. And startups should have their LinkedIn in order, their website in order. It's very easy nowadays to find on Google. Even if you Google Convanto or Vandana, you'll find out a lot of information. It's very easy to find out information online, as there is a lot of data available. In fact, it's easier now than before. The due diligence was really, really difficult, and going physically from one office to another, it was quite difficult. So I think, investors are also mindful. They do check the background of the founders. They do check all the information before they step into and invest their money. Similarly, even startups are careful as to what investor they are picking, whether the investor's money is clean money, whether the investor is a good investor. So I think it goes hand in hand, and everything is easily accessible nowadays. Everybody needs to be a risk taker somewhere. Like the other panelist, esteemed panelist mentioned that mistakes happen, and one needs to be a risk taker and be positive always. Then I think we attract always good things.
Absolutely. Gary, close us out. Any last pieces of advice you would add to investors looking to make investments in developing countries or transformative markets?
Yeah, you want to make sure you do your due diligence. You want to make sure you have contacts in that country that can give you advice and guidance. If you're going to do something, make sure you know what you're getting into. Check the company out. Look on Google to make sure that they've got some visibility out there. And, don't just go in cold. Use a trusted partner that can help make sure and do the due diligence for you to make sure that's the right kind of thing. You can reach me, Gary Fowler, on LinkedIn. You can reach me on Twitter. Check out my shows and also the Founders Report on VCTV. So keep smiling, stay happy, and go get them.
Thank you very much. Adrian, where can everyone find you?
Unless something else will be invented, on LinkedIn is my main communication hub. So and I answer to all messages, even if not immediately. This is a skill you need to train about learning how to analyze people, how to analyze web domains, because always if you analyze the domains of that only the domain of that kind of the website, you can learn a lot of very interesting things only from that. And don't be afraid to try anything, because the success is usually outside of your comfort zone. And we people, when we see something new, we tend to consider that what we don't know is either very dangerous or it's a potential scam, but usually it's something which is out of our reach. So we need to expand our horizon all the time, and of course learn from mistakes and fail forward, but don't stay in the comfort zone. So always try to do something out of it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Adrian. Vandana, close us out. Where can everyone find you online?
Yeah, so totally agree with what Adrian said. Failure is the stepping stone to greatness. One must be open to take risks and have a positive mind, because always we cannot look at the glass, empty, as Gary says. We have to see the positive side of everything. And I think nothing is a rocket science. And one must be able to catch the right kind of opportunities with a positive flow, and things automatically then happen in the right direction. And I could be reached out on LinkedIn or my website, www.convanto.com. And once again, thank you for having me here. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of you in different places.
Absolutely. Good day all around the world. Adrian, Vandana, Gary, thank you very much for sharing your thoughts and insights to our audience. Thank you for tuning in. If you like what you heard, make sure you click like, share, and subscribe on today's episode. Also, please do reach out to each and every one of our investor and co-hosts today, along with myself, if you're building anything in these areas that we mentioned or otherwise. But please do add context, where you heard us, where you met us, and what you would like to continue the conversation about. A big thank you to the Token team, to Maria and Hasmik for making today's episode possible. Everyone have a wonderful day, and we'll see you back here soon. Take care.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.